1, 2, 3. Okay.
On today's episode of Free Unsolicited Cooking Knowledge, we'll be planting my garden. Welcome back, little spades. If you are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button because I'm what? The missing plant in your garden. As you saw today, we are hand planting the garden. We are actually in a little bit of a rush. We're trying to beat the rain, and it's gonna be hopefully not too long. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get into it. Welcome to the garden. I have finally convinced my dad to plant the back half of the garden, but that does come with some difficulty. And let me tell you, I am reaping the rewards of doing that. The soil is amazing in this garden, but it does not have really good drainage. Because it's been raining for like the last 2 weeks, it is really hard to get the tractor back here without sinking into the land. That's a whole nother thing. I was talking about it with my father, and until I become a millionaire or sponsored, we need weeping tiles back here. So basically, the little trenches that you see have been dug by hand by yours truly. And we were basically in a race against the rain because it's supposed to rain for the rest of the week, which is great for your plants, but really, really crappy to plant. Anyway, I'm not sure how much talking I'm gonna do in this video, so just enjoy the process, I guess. Okay, before we begin, I just wanted to say that all of these plants have been hardened off. They have withstood some of the elements, you know, the sun, the rain, the wind. They are pretty strong. They're very big. That's why they need to be planted. Also, before we plant, these have been soaked in water. You want the soil of the cells soaked in water before you plant. Once you plant, you add more water, and then they are good to go. So yeah, basically I'm going to show you that process by hand because we don't have the technology. For all my new little spades out there who are wondering what this is a well. We have about 4 on the property, and they are about 50 feet deep because we are on a water table. Alright, we have arrived at the first step, and that is to use our drill to drill holes 16 inches apart. Step 2 is gently pulling each plant from the cells, placing them in each hole, and then we will be filling it with dirt and pressing them into the ground to essentially plant them. Alright, so the next step is watering each one of the plants. My dad does take this step a little further, and he does add some quote-unquote plant food. As you can see here, this one is a 20-20-20 breakdown of the macronutrients known as NPK, or nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Just to help break it down in a little more simpler terms, nitrogen is really good for vegetative growth, your leaves, your stems. Phosphorus is really crucial for root development, flowering, and fruit production. And potassium, or the K, is important for overall plant health, essentially. Also, to help explain the numbers a little further, the numbers indicate the percentage of these 3 elements in the fertilizer. The higher the number, the more concentrated that nutrient is in the fertilizer. And let me tell you, when I was in school, they made me do a lot of math, and I really hated it. But I learned a lot. Anyway, as you can see here, I'm adding about 8 ounces or 1 cup per plant of this forbidden Kool-Aid, as I like to call it. Also, I would like to say if you want to get your steps, just become a farmer. Seriously though, this beats any desk job. I'm so glad I left my last corporate job. Well, plants don't talk back. 49 tomato plants, 16 inches apart. Actually, I feel like I did some closer, but that's okay. It's fine. Also, I think these are Roma tomatoes, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, all right. Roma, my favorite. Also, I just would like to say this is how my dad does it. I don't know if I would necessarily plant them like this, but it's a miracle we're planting back here this year, okay? If up to me, I would have permanent install beds. On to the next. Pull from the root when you're pulling them out of the cells, okay? You want it to be all connected. Sorry, the chicken just yelled over there. Also, they're not my chickens. They're my neighbors. And they're tearing up my flower bed. Oh no! See what I mean? This is what happens when they're not really soaked. They like rip the little root ball in half. Oh, I'm just taking a break. Just a few things. Okay, it's way too bright. I just wanted to say just a few things. We do use this like Miracle Grow. My dad does use the Miracle Grow with each plant, like I said before. But if you are planting on planting plants in planters and you're using like a vegetable garden dirt, like bag dirt that you're buying from the store, you most likely will not need to add plant food to it. Usually that soil is really good combination of everything you need. Maybe as the season goes on, you may need some more of that, but I would just lay off of it for the first couple of weeks with planting, just because the soil is very nutrient in what you need for your vegetables. But yeah, just kind of wanted to pop in here and let you know that you most likely won't need fertilizer if you have good bagged soil. So anyway, right away, I don't want you to like poison your plants as you plant them. But with that said, we are almost done row 2 and I'm tired of this. Also, I'd like to say there are machines. We have one somewhere, maybe in the neighbor's barn, I don't know, that you actually ride on the back of the tractor and you just feed, basically it's like a wheel and it plants each tomato plant for you. You just sit there and you feed it. And let me tell you, I would love to just listen to my murder podcast and feed the wheel, but Dad says this garden is too small to even do that. So may I suffer continuously. Actually, I've been really taking care of my body this past year, so I'm not in too much pain or agony doing this, thank God. But if you are going to do this method, make sure you stretch. That's all I gotta say. Also, I would like to mention that it is just after 4 o'clock and it is a overcast day. If it's a sunny day, you always plant after 6, 7 o'clock because you don't want the sun and harshness to, kill your plants as you are transplanting them, known as shock, essentially. But yeah, you never want to plant on a full sunny day. Always do it in the evening, so. Also, I just wanted to give you a little peek into the forest back here. It is beautiful, but guess what? Because I went into the forest later, I was in bed and I had a tick attached to my leg. So that was great. I think I'm fine. Like there was no ring around the bite and I still have the tick in case we need to have it tested. Anyway, it's in my freezer. Anyway, this is day 2 of planting. There's no audio because my audio didn't work for some reason. I'm just a terrible tech. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I'm just explaining that this is day 2 and we were finishing with the tomatoes and then moving on to the peppers. Just so you know, this is like 3 days between plantings because of the rain. This is the moment Dad is micromanaging me, telling me I'm not doing it well enough. Again, no audio, but this is just me explaining how I regret planting back there because I left my phone in the house after I already had gone there and came back twice. All right, this is like day 4 or 5 of planting. We are now moving on to the zucchini and cucumbers. They are a bigger cell, so we have to make bigger holes. And funny thing about this whole planting process, my dad actually wouldn't allow me to do much of the planting, but for these ones he said I could. I wonder why. It's okay, I get it. He is 83 and I actually didn't want him planting anything. He just doesn't know how to be a supervisor, but I guess that's gonna keep him young. Thank you, my little spades, for lasting this long in the video. I hope you enjoyed this type of content. This is just how we've been doing it since, oh my God, since I was a kid, minus using the tractor that helps plant the plants. But with that said, things may change in the future on what the farm looks like or the process of planting, but this is how we're doing it this summer, and I'm excited to see how these plants grow in the back half of our garden. And yeah, I'm just happy that I could bring you along the journey with me. Anyway, thank you, my little spades, and you know what? Farming. See ya.